Hello my senior friends. In the last two lectures on this topic, we discussed the size of the Indian film industry. 1992 statistics we saw. About 2.5 films released every day. And then you have 15 million people thronging the theatres to view this, and about 13,000 plus theatres all over India. That is 1992. Now we must almost double it, isn't it? And then second point that we saw, in the second lecture we saw, what is a slum? The unintended city. A slum is the unintended city, where the disowned people of India live. Or you can say the implied city. The implied city where the so-called disowned people live, but at the same time they are a sine qua non or a sine qua non. In English we say no, sine qua non. That is Latin, sine qua non. That means something that is indispensable. That is Latin, sine qua non. But in English we pronounce it as sine qua non. Means without which you cannot exist. So these disowned people, they are sine qua non for the existence of the city, for the existence and the comfortable living of the sahibs and the mem sahibs of the city proper. Now today we are going to see two other aspects of Indian popular films. First is the cultural aspect and second is the political aspect. So two aspects we see: cultural. First is cultural and the second is political aspect. Very simple. Cultural aspect we consider, we must understand the ideological locus of Indian popular cinema is the slum. The slum in the sense that not that geographical area or physical reality, but the people who live there. Who are the people who live there? They are middle class. Middle class actually in this sense, it's not middle class, it is more of, we can say, lower middle class people with more money. And one thing that you must remember is that they are a population, a society in flux. What do I mean by saying this is that they are not static people. They are not people who are satisfied with the present situation, but they are always on the move toward the upper echelons of society. But they want to climb the ladder of progress. Say from lower middle class to middle class, from middle class to upper middle class, from upper middle class they have dreams and ambitions to reach the rich, and from there to the super rich, so to say. So they are people, their mental setup, that's what I am trying to say, cultural. They are people with ambitions. They are people with ambition. They are ambitious people. As you can see in these films, popular films, feature films. The second point to note is that they are culturally they are uprooted. But at the same way you will find that they live in fear. Yes. Or before that you can say another most important aspect of their life is they have got their memories. As T.S. says, April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire. So actually that is what is happening here. Mixing. There is a mixing memory and desire. There is nostalgia. They have got a painful nostalgia in their heart of heart because they have been culturally uprooted. They left their home and heart in search of employment, in search of a livelihood, in search of for a hand-to-mouth existence. They did not come here thinking that they are going to become great industrialists, but it is for searching job for day-to-day existence, just to make both ends meet. So they are always thinking of that past lost paradise of their days, their gav, the traditions of their gav, the rituals of their village, the kinship relations of their village, the neighborly relations of their village, the style of living in that village, the small temple if they have any in their village, their religious, their practices of that village, that pastoral idyllic atmosphere of this village, always they have in their mind. Their mind, theirs is a mind teeming with memories of the lost, beautiful paradise, what they would call, they unwillingly left, so to say. Most of them probably might have unwillingly left that place in search of jobs. So they are people with memories. The third point to note is that they live in fear. They live in fear. Because when they come to a city like this, first they encounter a concrete jungle. Factories, huge buildings, skyscrapers, which they might not even have dreamed in their wildest of dreams. And then they see the heterogeneity of the city. You see the ethnic varieties in the city, the lifestyles in the city. And they are afraid in the sense that when they come across this unknown people in the city, unknown situations in the city, they don't unpredictable situations in the city. So they are in fact people who always live in fear. And a fourth point to note is that there is anxiety. Anxiety into their mind, because they are afraid that they may slip into the immoral life of the city. City life is an immoral life. Immoral life. Neither moral nor immoral. You can become immoral, you can become moral. But chances are that you may become immoral. So they are very much anxious about that. Along with that, you should also know that they are people with great resilience. Resilience means what we call, that is shown by they recreate their own village in the city. How do we know that people with resilience? One, they have the capacity to recreate their village in the midst of the city. The same kinship relations, the same neighborly relations, the same style of dress, the same lifestyles. They have the capacity to recreate. And the second point is that they create their own culture. They create their own culture by taking the good things of the city life and abandoning the superstitions, incorrigible superstitions and traditions, things like that. Much of this they shed. They create their own culture. Now what you find in Indian popular cinema is this middle class in action. You can see characters, circumstances, the sequences. You find as a result of this plot within plot, dream sequences. You have got stereotype, the typical stereotype heroes. You have got high fantastic situations, dance sequences, and then stunts, whatever a human being would like to see in his life, you can see in Indian popular cinema. So that's why it is said that Indian popular cinema is everything to every man. Songs, there is a mix of, what you must say, indiscriminate mix of Eastern and Western, classical and the folk. So you find it's a kind of a conglomeration of, what you must say, everything, a configuration, as if you want to talk in terms of computer language, a configuration of every aspect of life, in Indian life, so to say, you would find presented in the popular Indian popular cinema. That's why it said Indian popular cinema is everything for everyone. Whatever you want stunt, it is there. You want high-flown heroes speaking in high-flown bombastic language, it is there. You want chocolate pie heroes, it is there. You want beautiful heroines, you have there. You want village life, it is there. You want city life, it is there. You want smugglers, you can see them. You can see them acting. Understand? I mean, in the film, in the silver screen, you will find that. So, whatever a human being wishes to see, you will find in Indian popular cinema. That is the cultural aspect of Indian popular cinema. So, as I told you, there are two aspects. One is cultural and the other is political. One is cultural aspect of Indian popular cinema and the other is the political aspect of Indian popular cinema. In culture we saw, these are main points. The culture, the culture is formed, or you can say in the ingredients of the culture of these people, their ambitions, their memories, their fears, their anxiety, at the same time they are a resilient group. And therefore you have plot within plot. In Indian popular cinema you have plot within plot. There is no character development. There is no close-knit stories. There is no logical sequence of events because you have to please everyone. There is mix of East and West. There is mix of modern and traditional. There is mix of classical and folk. And no development of characters. Nothing is resolved at the end. What we must say that some events, some incidents, some fantasies, etc. are expressed and presented before you, and you are very happy about it. But Adorno would say culture industry. See, that is culture industry. That is a kind of deception. Dialectic of enlightenment. It's a kind of deception, said Adorno. Something like that you will find here also. Understand? So, in a way, they are forced to by presenting their own life. In a film, in an Indian popular film, what you see is what the middle class would do to themselves. That you can see in the Indian popular films. Now the second aspect of this is political. It's nothing very secret about this. It is vulgarly blatant. The politics of Indian popular cinema is vulgarly blatant. Means it does not require, as ASHIS NANDY says, it does not present any hermeneutic puzzle. That means it is not at all difficult to understand the politics that is played in Indian popular cinema. The major character that the Indian popular cinema once, that is the time of Dilip Kumar, Devanand and Raj Kapoor, there's romantic films, family dramas. But there was a connection between classical plays and the Indian popular films. As it is said, recently Birsky, he has pointed out that there is a relation, or you can say continuity, between Kalidasa's Abhijnana Shakuntalam and Raj Kapoor's Satyam Shivam Sundaram. So that thread is still running. But that was not the case in the earlier days. Earlier days, there was a perfect continuity you could see from the classical plays and also Indian popular cinema. Then halfway through you can see this is lost because of the entry of, just as we say now, there is a famous film, Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee film, exactly like that you have got Enter the Politician. Enter the Politician. This made a big politician. Enter the Politician, enter the Indian popular cinema. This made a sea change in the plot development, character, sketching of the character, selection of the hero and heroine, situations, and also the locus, etc. of film industry. Change the villain, the new villain but the politics is new. And he is represented by the khadi-clad politician. He is the new villain of this politics. And once you find the khadi-clad politician is corrupt and totally corrupt, you will find all that he touches like Midas touch. That's about gold. But this is about the corruption touch of the politicians. The judiciary is subverted. In the film you can see that. The police corrupt. There's a violent college union elections. The violence. There are petty smugglers. There are gangsters, quotation groups. All these protected and these are sheltered by this corrupt politician. As a result of this, what happened? The hero who begins his life in an Indian popular cinema like a Dilip Kumar or a Devanand or a Raj Kapoor, halfway through he becomes an anti-hero because he sees around him insurmountable difficulties caused by political corruption. So then he turns, or the next development of this hero is an anti-hero, fighting against these forces, which he is unable to do it himself. But he and his friends, or those who support him, there is a clash. There is a clash in every film between the hero turned anti-hero and the corrupt politician and the system as such, because it is totally corrupt. The corrupt politician can do anything and everything with a total impunity. That's the situation. So he stands aghast. The hero stands aghast. He is wonderstruck and thunderstruck. What is going on in this world? Is this our India, Mother India? Or is it some other planet where such things are going on? He wonders. Result of that, he takes arms against, maybe alone or with friends, he takes arms against this establishment run by the corrupt politicians. This is film after film, you can see this. Another development of this is when you are unable to fight it out using a system, what do? You take law into your own hands. Law, that is wild justice. And as a result of that, Indian popular cinema glorifies vigilantism. What is vigilantism means? Vigilantism is a hero turned anti-hero, takes law in his own hands, as you can see film after film of Amitabh Bachchan, the angry young man. He is not angry against a person. He is not angry against a particular situation, but he is angry against the system as such. Badusha, for example. So he comes as a Superman. Here this is development of hero, you can see, romantic hero, then anti-hero. Anti-hero becomes a superhero, and the superhero comes from somewhere we don't know. So as a bolt from the blue, somewhere he comes, he fights with these forces, then robs them and distributes things to the poor people in the village or the town. So that vicarious violence. The vicarious violence is very much enjoyed by the popular, vicarious violence presented in the popular, in our Indian popular cinema is very much appreciated and then applauded by, admired and applauded by the Indian middle class. Indian middle class means the people who live in the slums. So two trends that you find in Indian popular cinema. One, the corrupt politician and his surroundings. And second is the fight against that system and this politician by way of vigilantism. That is taking the law in your own hands. That is vigilantism means. So you can see there was a talk in gossip columns that when Rajesh Khanna was reigning like an uncrowned king in the romantic realm of Indian popular cinema, like Aradhana, Aradhana very famous known as Aradhana, etc. He was asked by the film industry whether he can play the role of an angry young man. He said, no, I am not fit for that. Then that vacuum was filled by Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan's earlier films, if you see, you will see that they're not very promising. But the moment that he put on the mantle of an angry young man fighting against social evils, he became the hero's hero. Understand? Yes. And then another development in this Indian popular film is, so first we have seen politics, enter politics. And then second we saw, as a result of this, glorification of vigilantism. Vigilantism is taking law in your own hands. That is enter politics, glorification of vigilantism. And another trend that you find in films is, Indian popular films is, slum is presented as a desirable place. Slum as a desirable place. For example, you find in films like Raju Ben Gaya Gentleman. Raju Ben Gaya Gentleman and Katha, that's another film. And also you have a TV serial like Nukut. Raju Ben Gaya Gentleman, TV serial Nukut, and also Katha. Such films you will find the slum is a desirable place for those villagers who are uprooted culturally and come to search or to find their own fortune. So there are three trends you will find. And of course there is also a fourth trend which I have already told you. There is a connection still continuing, a thread of connection. A thread of connection still continuing in Indian cinema, that is classical place and popular cinema. Classical place and popular cinema. We have seen about, I told you about that author Birsky. So he has pointed out that there is a connection between, a continuation, you can see some continuation between, continuing elements between Raj Kapoor's Satyam Siva Sundaram and Kalidasa's this Abhigyan Shakuntalam. Also you saw A.L. Basham. He also has pointed out a cultural history of India. In a cultural history of India, A.L. Basham, he has pointed out A.L. Basham. Yes, A.L. Basham, a cultural history of India. A cultural history of India. He also has pointed out this continuation. There's something, that there's a thread, there is a silent dialogue, so to say, going between those days, that is classical place, and these days. And then another trend is, when you see violence after violence, you see vigilantism after vigilantism presented in the place, you get bored. And so you have got what we call a decade of, or you can say many films, purely sweet romance. Films sweet romance and romantic heroes, chocolate pie heroes. So these are the trends that you find in Indian popular cinema from what you call the slums eye view, you can say. First and foremost, enter politics and all those commotion created by them. Second is all the sea change, you can say cataclysms, the earthquake caused by them. Second is glorification of vigilantism, as you can see in the films of Amitabh Bachchan, Padusha, Then slum as a desirable place, you will find films like Raju Ben Gaya Gentleman, then Katha and the TV serial Nukul. And you have got a connection between classical place and the present day films, as Birsky has pointed out in Abhinyan Shakuntalam, and there is the Satyam Sivan Sundaram of Raj Kapoor. And finally, we saw sweet romantic films and sweet romance and chocolate by heroes and new heroines like goddesses who can grant all what you want, what you ask of them. So that is the present trends that you can see. These are different, we must have trends in Indian popular cinema, but of all, the most important, as you said, is the entry of the politician as a villain in this Indian popular cinema. But at the same time, you should understand that violence is there, stunt is there, bloodshed is there, life and death battle is there, but still another very interesting thing is that sixth point to note is the comic violence. Comic violence in Indian popular cinema. Comic violence means, you must have seen Don, no? D-O-N, Don. That is one of the famous films of Amitabh Bachchan. So you see that the stunt scene, towards the end of the stunt scene, you find why the life and the battle is going on. The stunt is going on. The Superman hero, he is asking permission from the villain to eat a pan. That's a kind of comedy within the violence. That may be balancing. See that? Balancing the whole situation. Otherwise, if it is all hit, etc., and then beating, and when nothing happens, then that's another thing. And someday these opponents, some one or two may die, but the hero, even his hairstyle and his combed hair will remain as such. I told you, in my first lecture, and I think I saw a film, Hindi film, where so the villain is throwing a bomb at the hero, and the hero catches it like a cricket ball and throws it back to him. Boomerang effect. And when he throws it back, it explodes. When he catches, nothing happens. It's such kind of fantastic sights you can see, scenes you can see in Indian popular film. Then you can see, do you remember that Appu Rajas? No? Appu Raja, there's a film Appu Raja. There what happens is, during this, that is by Sai Paranjap. Sai Paranjap is Appu Raja. You can see. What do you see that it ends in during the stunt, this tickling. See, they make the heroes' associates, make the villains, one of the villains' helpers, or what you call assistants, you can say, tickle him to surrender to him. Tickling takes place. So something that what you said, within violence you have got comedy within violence. Understand? And there's another film, Kishan Kanhaiya, that's a film, no? Kishan Kanhaiya. That is by Syed Mirza, isn't it? Yes. So that film, you will find that the villains make fun of their humiliation. Towards the end of the stunt and the violence, they make fun of their humiliation. And yet another film, there is another film where there is, at the end there is a dance, isn't it? There is a dance, that is this, what do you call, Nasib. Yes, Nasib, that is the film, yes, Nasib. Now in that film, after the end of the life and death battle, there is a dance, a choreographed dance with villains as well as the villains party and the heroes party. So is it a tragedy or is it a comedy? Or it is a tragic comedy? Or is it a comedy? Sometimes we think like that. So what you find is, as I told you, as not I told, but I am just explaining the points that is given by ASHIS NANDY in this essay. You can see different trends like entry of politicians, then glorification of vigilantism. In all these films, what you find is, from somewhere this Superman hero comes. and to somewhere they go. We have no idea. In between, some commotion, some violence, some comedy within violence, see, etc. takes place. And you find the audience, they enjoy this vicarious violence, they enjoy the vicarious romance, if any, they enjoy the vicarious adventurism of the hero, but there is absolutely no development, there is no logical sequence of events, there is no construction of plot, there is no construction of a reasonable plot, you don't find that. So there is, but you have got everything to every man. That's why it is said that Indian popular cinema is everything to every man. Understand? You understand? Yes. You want fight against corruption? Yes. You want romance? Yes. You want comedy within violence? Yes. You want violence within comedy? Yes. Whatever you want, you can have. You want the latest modern lifestyle? Yes. You want the incorrigible, traditional, superstitious life of the villages? You will get that also. You want that is what do you call a cabaret dancer? You will get it. And when you see at home, the cabaret dancer is so nice and so gentle and so humble in front of her mother-in-law, you will get it. Understand? You want somebody fighting with a feminist, fighting with a man? Yes, you will get it. You want somebody resisting this? Everything else. So, Indian popular cinema is everything to everyone. Understand? Now, I think that we can conclude this. Remember, in the essay, our lecture here has got 3 parts. First one I told you about the quantity, the size. Second one, what is a slum? Third, the slums cultural aspect presented in Indian popular cinema, and also slums political aspects. How the slum views, what is their view of the politics in India, the politician in India. So this is what you see in Indian popular films, and therefore you get everything there, everything. Chocolate pie heroes, romance. Then if you feel like you can also connect it with the classical Sanskrit plays of yesteryears. You can do that. You can see a village, you can see a town, you can see people, culturally uprooted people. You can see how they tryst with the destiny. As Pandit Jawaharlal, to use the phrase of the Pandit Jawaharlal, tryst with the destiny. That also you can see in the city. Understand? So I think that we can conclude. I hope that you have enjoyed all the 3 lectures on Indian popular cinema by ASHIS NANDY, and if you have enjoyed it and if you think that it is useful to you, you must definitely tell your friends also to watch my channel, Professor Thomas Mathew's channel, and also subscribe to it, because you are also going to get a series of lectures. I have not concluded the cultural studies yet. I am faithfully following the syllabus of Mahatma Gandhi University in Kerala, and I think that in almost all Indian universities this syllabus is followed. For example, I have already told you, uploaded about 7 authors, that is starting from Raymond Williams, Stuart Hall, Simon During, John Story, Baudelaire, Roland Barthes, and Adorno and Horkheimer, culture industry. And now this is the 8th one, I think. And soon I will be taking up, that is the next 2 or 3 topics more. And after that, I am planning to give a series of lectures on linguistics, that is phonetics, then traditional grammar, and you have got IC analysis. After IC analysis, transformational generative grammar, and up to the point of government and binding theory. Government and binding theory. I think that is the last item and also semantics. Of course, semantics is there, and other things such as prosodic features like stress intonation, etc. Then stress intonation, and there is all connectors like speech features of spoken English, yes, etc. will follow, and therefore if you and your friends subscribe to this, you will get an alert whenever I upload. It won't be too long. In the near future, say within 2 or 3 months time, I propose to complete this, and I would like to switch over to IELTS and TOEFL training program also I am going to start, so that again I am going to launch, you can say, in my channel, that is Professor Thomas Mathew's English videos of Professor Thomas Mathew, and if you subscribe to this, you will get an alert almost every day. Also, I would like to tell you that I have almost coming to the end of the entire English grammar, right from noun primary level to your higher secondary and also graduate level. Just half a dozen lectures more, and then the whole thing will be over. So if you have got your brothers, younger brothers, sisters, young friends, etc., you can tell them to subscribe to my channel and get a free update of English grammar and also free lessons from this channel. Okay? Wishing you all the best. I would like to say bye for the time being, and because soon you can expect my other lectures on cultural studies. Okay? After that, linguistics. Have a nice time, enjoy your life, and relax.